This also from Sports Illustrated, 3 keys to the Browns being in Super Bowl contention in 2024. Number 3, the run game must be consistent. They say Nick Chubb is expected to get back on the field at some point in time. They need to run the football without question. Defensive forced turnovers are a must. And the offense can't turn the ball over at the rate they did either. I'll add that footnote to it. And Deshaun Watson must stay healthy and perform is the top one. And if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, he probably needs to play 16, 17, 18, how many ever regular season games. Can't miss a ton.
Yeah, that's the key, the health. Because if he's healthy over the course of the season, you actually get to evaluate what he is. And he's a guy who starts slow and builds. So you need him to play, like you said, 15, 16, 17 games for that to play out over the course of a season. So I think if he is healthy, he will perform. The running game, I think, is something that's key that we don't talk about because their inefficiency to run the ball last year over the second half led to the Browns being unable to close out games, forcing them to throw to end games. And in this league, you want to throw to get a lead, and you want to run time off the clock in the second half through your running game. The Browns were unable to do that, and it put them in a position, and they were already turning the ball over at an alarming rate. And then you give them the fact that you have to throw to end the game. That just only went up. The Browns have to be efficient in the running game to end games this year.
Yeah, sometimes we overlook the fact they were on their 4th and 5th tackles, and I'm sure you got to find a way, but I'm sure that figures into their inability to run the ball late in games.
Yeah, we kept hearing next man up. But when you get that far down in the pecking order, to have expectations of grandeur in your head, they just didn't have the guys out there to do it. So I expect them to be more efficient running the ball. One thing that they need to improve upon is, we're spoiled because of Nick Chubb. We're used to having a guy back there that when the other team knows you're running the ball, you're still able to do that. Well, in the NFL, that is something you have to be able to do at crucial times in the game, is to be able to execute when the other team knows what you're doing. They just didn't have it last year. So that's something they need to improve upon. We'll see if Andy Dickerson's arrival can get the running game off the ground again.
And the defensive creating turnovers, yes. The offense cannot turn the ball. I mean, they were negative. They were one of the worst teams in the NFL. I believe it was 2nd or 3rd worst in turnover differential. Mm-hmm. Normally, when you do that, you're destined you're in for a 4 or 5 win season. You got to be positive in the turnover game.
Exactly.
And the plus 7 or 8 for the year.
Oh, yeah, easy. The defense did a decent job of turning the ball over, but the offense was giving it away so frequently that you were just in the negative perpetually, and I do believe there is a level of this defense to unlock, and it is in the turnover game. It's in players like JOK and players like Grant Delpit. You got a defensive end room who just flat out gets after quarterbacks, forces mistakes. It's up to this defense to capitalize. And there was a ton of instances last year where you were just that close to picking up a ball or picking up a fumble, taking it to the house. This defense needs to unlock that part of the game because they're stingy as can be between the 20s. Red zone defense and forcing more turnovers, giving your offense more opportunity. If they do those two things, I think you're going to wind up in a great spot.